My name is Hadley Bajramovic. I'm the senior attorney at the Immigration Law Offices of Hadley Bajramovic. I've been doing this for 20 years. Of course, there are a lot of attorneys out there who've been doing it longer than me, but not many anymore. So I'm here to let you into my experience and my knowledge of immigration law and talk about different questions that people have. And today we are going to talk about what is going to happen to DACA under Trump. So what is DACA? Since 2012, you probably know something about DACA. DACA is a Deferred Action program that President Obama created under an executive order to allow minors or children who were brought to the U.S. by their parents. We call them childhood arrivals, and they had to meet certain conditions to be given this Deferred Action program. Deferred action means a promise not to deport. And because these DACAs have a promise not to be deported, they're also eligible for work authorization. And in my opinion, the program was incredibly successful in allowing 1.2 million or more people to have a role in society, to work, go to school, become consumers, to contribute and adjust into our society well, and become essential workers in the pandemic, become doctors, lawyers, rocket scientists. DACAs have made a huge contribution to the United States and national interest. But the issue now is that Trump has made attempts to end DACA since then, ongoing legal battles. Most recently, arguments were heard in Texas in October to end the DACA program. Current fears and uncertainties have risen among DACA recipients because of these arguments, and also because of the election results where Trump actually was reelected to become president in 2025. Finally, there have been contradictory signals from Trump himself. There have been promises of protection versus a history of hardline immigration policies, and frankly, he tried to end the DACA program before. So we're going to try to shed some light on this, although a lot of it's still uncertain for us as well. So a summary of Trump's mixed messages and the ongoing legal and emotional challenges. So when Trump became president, the DACA program was basically in what I call an unwind stage. From 2012 to 2017, the initial DACA applications were accepted for anybody who could meet the criteria of DACA. Like in general, that you were under the age of 30 in June of 2012, that you arrived in the U.S. before 2007, that you were under the applying after the age of 16, arrived before the age of 15. I might not have those completely correct because I haven't really looked at the initial DACA application in a long time, but those are all directionally correct rules about who could apply for DACA. And since nobody has applied for initial DACA since around 2017, we have to dust off our memory on what exactly qualifies for DACA. Nobody is eligible for DACA anymore anyway because of the dates that were in place. So Trump stopped the initial DACAs, and because of a concept called reliance, the people who already had DACA were allowed to continue to renew DACA since 2017. Trump also removed the right to travel that was given to DACAs by President Obama. President Obama allowed for advanced parole for DACAs if it were for particular reasons. Number one, for education. Number two, for work. Or number three, for humanitarian reasons. We lost advanced parole from 2017 to 2020. And then advanced parole came back suddenly after Biden was elected president. And since then, our office personally has, or, as a firm, we have successfully completed more than 300 advanced parole trips for DACAs. And we have used mainly the humanitarian basis for advanced parole. So we still have advanced parole today. We have the renewal of DACA, but in October, I listened to the arguments that were held with Texas arguing that DACA caused harm to the state of Texas, with other states like New Jersey showing that DACA benefited the state of New Jersey. And there were arguments made about whether or not Texas as a state has the right to end DACA for other states that enjoy having DACA recipients as citizens of the state. And there were reliance arguments that DACAs, contribute to the economy significantly. They buy cars, they buy homes, they have credit. They're first responders during the pandemic, which I mentioned before. Texas, however, argued that if DACA program would be ended, then all the people who have DACA would just deport themselves back to their home countries, which is ridiculous because almost all DACAs have mixed families. They're married to U.S. citizens. They have U.S. citizen children. They don't have any reason to go back to a country that they simply don't know. In many cases, DACAs don't even speak their home language. So these arguments raised concerns with DACAs that why would anybody even think we would self-deport, and the fact that they're making those arguments scare us. That's one of the messages that's been sent by the Republican side of the conservative politics, the conservative Republican politics, and Trump saying all undocumented people must leave, that he's going to start a mass deportation once he's elected on day one. However, last week, Trump was on national news telling press members that he has no problem with DACA, that DACA should be allowed to stay. So these are incredibly mixed signals, and we don't know what to think yet. My personal opinion is that DACA recipients are here to stay, and that we need to find a way for them to stay. And I think Trump, used the DACAs as undocumented people who need to be deported as a political campaign message to the general public who has fear of all of the migration that happened at the border. People don't know the difference between a DACA and somebody who's recently arrived at the southern border, and Trump took advantage of that. And now that he's in office and he realizes that deporting 600,000 DACAs suddenly would harm the economy, would harm many industries, and harm many families unfairly. And the fact that DACAs rely and have had heavy reliance on the benefits of work authorization is a problem and a travesty. So our call to action is to support DACA, to, in any way possible, through your congressional representatives, online, in any way, to show your support for DACAs. Everybody here knows a DACA. Everybody knows somebody who was given this relief. Maybe you don't know it because DACAs have American accents, American personas. It's impossible to distinguish somebody who has DACA simply by looking at them or talking to them. But everybody here knows a DACA. So support DACAs in every way you can. If you have any questions about how to support DACAs, or if you're a DACA and you want to know what you can do about your future, please contact us. My name is Hadley Bajramovic at the Immigration Law Offices of Hadley Bajramovic. We're a national law firm and we can help you.